Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Welcome to today's Global Speaker Series, sponsored by the Lewis College of Business and the International Student Club. Today's title is Chain of Values of Mining Sector in Global Business Today, Challenges and Opportunities for African Countries. I'm going to first say a few words about the Lewis College of Business and its strategic priorities. My name is Nancy Langton. I'm Associate Dean at the Lewis College of Business. We'll then have a few words from Provost Mukherjee, who is the former Dean of the Business School and started our Global Connection Speaker Series. And then Interim Dean Jeff Archambault will say a few words. Our student president of the Global Club is Mackenzie Bauman. She will introduce our speakers for today. All right, so the College of Business has a strategic plan and it has 5 strategic priorities, and having a global footprint and global connections is one of those 5 strategic priorities. Our student organization is a huge part of that strategic priority, and in conjunction with them, Boniface Yemba, who is our professor of international business, has put together this speaker series. We have learned a lot from this speaker series. We've had several speakers so far from various countries speaking on various business topics, and it's just been a wonderful learning experience for all of us. Global connections enhance students' ability to learn about the different regions and gain that global perspective that's so important in business today. We have other global initiatives that are part of this priority, including our teaching that we do in China via the Goofy University. We have probably 5 or 6 faculty members who teach in there every spring. We're really excited about that. We've also had the college's own study abroad trips before COVID. We had a trip to Australia and a trip to Ireland before COVID hit, and we hope to see more of that in the future. Again, this is a huge priority for our college, and we're really excited about it. And I'm now going to turn it over to Provost Mukherjee to say a few words, and then he'll turn it over to our interim dean. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Langton, and welcome everyone to the Global Business Series. This is a very special event for us, something that is very close to our hearts, because we are in this continuous process of globalizing the university and our campus, our student body, our faculty, our staff, and our curriculum. Marshall has a global presence. We have international students, we have a lot of international faculty and staff, and we have a large number of international alumni all over the globe. And what we are trying to do in this program is to bring some global ideas and thoughts in our minds and have a discussion around it. It creates global awareness, it creates global understanding, and it creates opportunities for partnership. All of these are vital for a global business school like the Lewis College of Business at Marshall University. We are extremely proud of our history and heritage, but we are also extremely excited about our potential. We do want to make sure that all students at Marshall University are exposed to global practices and trends in business and global ways of life, so that we can understand viewpoints and cultural differences better, and also get to understand various ways of learning in the academy. So it is truly exciting, again, to have our speaker today. The topic is very interesting. The leadership of Boniface Yemba has been outstanding in this process. And again, I want to thank you all for joining us today. And I'm eagerly looking forward to hearing the presentation. Thank you, and I hand this over to Dean Archambault.
Thank you, and welcome everyone. Certainly a global mindset is critical to success today in anything, I think, and I echo everything that's been said, but we live in a global world. I don't think you need to look past your home to figure that out anymore, to be very honest. I think it's very important as we go through life and business to think of, how do you contribute in a global world, globally, as both an individual and as an organization that you're working for, that you cannot think locally, that everything is intertwined anymore. And I think that this series is also very important because, frankly, as you look at not only having rewards from contributing, but what you have to control risks as well. And I think if you look at the last 10, 15, 20 years, there are so many examples of environmental issues and including the pandemic and political issues that influence so much in the global supply chains and everything that we do as a business, that this is just really, really critical. And we all do work together, and we need to work together to do better at everything we do. So I just want to welcome everybody, and I look forward to this session. I will turn it over to Dr. Yamba.
I think Mackenzie Bowen. Mackenzie, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I as well want to thank everyone for coming out today. As Ms. Langton said, I'm Mackenzie Bowman. I am the president of the International Business Club, but more importantly, I would love to introduce our guest speaker today, Mr. Moise Katumbe Chapwe. Mr. Katumbe is a prosperous businessman in food, transportation, agriculture, and sports. He has been known as the president, he's been known as the president of the popular African sports team, TP Mazembe, which has gotten many continental trophies. He holds a master's degree in criminal justice, and from 2007 to 2015, he was governor of Katanga in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since 2020, he has been president of the political party Ensemble pour la République. In today's meeting, we are going to be discussing the chain of values in the mining sector and global business, as well as the challenges and opportunities for African countries. Again, I want to thank all of you for attending this morning, and Mr. Katumbe, the meeting is yours whenever you're ready.
You are muted. We cannot hear you. You are muted. He is muted. It seems like he's trying to speak to the audience, but we can't hear him.
Yes,
Okay.
I just want to apologize because I supposed to be there. There was a problem with the plane. All the plane with the holiday were fully booked out because now at least a lot of people are traveling after this COVID period. At least at the moment, I came to Belgium. I'm stuck in Belgium. I just want to apologize before I start. If I can start, they already introduced myself. I'll talk about the mining sector in Africa. And the first point, I'll do my introduction, which is got 8 points, and which I'm going, I think, to share with you. Yes, I'll talk about on my presentation for the legal framework of mining sector, the chain value of natural resources sector, potential of mining resources, the strategy for DRC, opportunities, challenges, and the conclusion. I was governor, like the lady said, I was governor between 2000 2007 to 2007. During when I was governor, I was able to improve a lot of things in my province. Many development in education, health, transportation, water, sanitation, and so on. I would like to emphasize, when I was elected as governor of Katanga, I've any political background. I would like to focus. I would like to focus more on my successful business background. I propose another way of managing my province, focusing more on principles of good governance and accountability toward the population. When I arrived as a governor, like I say, I didn't have any experience. It's my first time I went in politics. So to fill my vision, I was surrounded by women and men with a successful background. We formed a compacted team which faced many challenges. If you can follow, I've shown you the map of Africa, which the population today in Africa is almost 1.4 billion people, which represent at least 18% of the world population. The area is 18 million 0.87 square miles. The DRC, my country, the population is at least 100 million, and you can see the majority. The majority in Africa, even in DRC, are young people. The area for my country is one of the largest country in Africa with 1.4 million square miles. The GDP per capita, you can see, is very, very, very low, which is almost $622 US, and which is really doesn't reflect the wealth of the country because of bad governance, corruption, and is rich in natural resources, mines, energy, pure water, forests. You've got the Congolese basin also. And DRC is a large country with potential natural resources and constitute a geological and mining breadbasket of Africa. It has a large part of the essential mining resources to industrial of the future and energy transition. Mining production consists of copper, cobalt, gold, zinc, coltan, diamond, cassiterite, and wolframite, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminium, and rare land have been identified either under proven clue or uncertified deposit, which I'm going to present here, like the deposit is which the Belgian, at the time, a Belgian colony, which they had made exploration. So far, DRC didn't make any exploration. On my presentation, I'm sorry, I will talk more about DRC, even though the topic covers the entire Africa. I believe that my deep understanding of the Congolese realities can be inferred to the other African countries. The legal framework of the mining sector has generally evolved from the initial law establishing the mining code in 2022, which aimed to facilitate important foreign direct investment in a sector that sustains economic growth. It is in a context characterized gloomy economy and the failing mining activity that the cause was promulgated with the help from Bretton Woods institution and the IMF. These ensure foreign investors whose contracts were agreed in case by case basis. And the majority, we had several companies which came. We had also Freeport McMoran, which came on Discord, which sold his investment later on because of the harassment and corruption, which they didn't want to continue in the country. Following the improvement of social and economic situation, the government modify again the same mining code. They amended in the 2022 mining code by a new mining code on March 2018. The 2018 code increases the government control, ensure sustainable development, and protect local community impact of mining activity. It is important to point out, however, that Botswana is considered as the best example in Africa in mining legal framework because of its investment on human capital and social development, and which is good in Botswana. Their development is going very well because they review a government, a state of law, and they fight corruption. 3, the chain of value of mining resources. DRC is a geological scandal, but the valorization of its mineral and the development of a competitive and profitable mining sector requires documentation of its geological domain and certification of its reserve. The latter need a fundamental geological research. At the moment, like I said in the beginning, we didn't do a lot of research. The only research we had is the research which we had at the colonial time. So we can discover more like they discovered the Kamoa mining. And we needed investors to come to have the chain of production. On the chain of production, before to have a chain of production, before to produce the finished material, you have to make the research, the exploration, development, the extraction of the material, and the mineral processing, which when I became governor, really this was my target to increase the production, because when I became governor, at the Belgian colony at that time, Congo was under Belgian colony. We are producing 300,000 tons of copper cathode per annum per year, and which with the bad governance of Mobutu government went from 300,000 tons of copper cathode per year to 8,000 tons only per year. All the unprocessed material was exported illegally, which I stopped this exportation illegally. And where they are using also the artisanal miners. So from the 8,000 tons, which I find per annum, which was less than 10,000 tons, when I ban to export and process material to different countries, China and other countries, we had investors which came, we invested, and the first year we produced over 963 tons of copper cathodes, and we produced also over 60,000 tons of cobalt. So the other challenge is we've got two types of production: the artisanal miners and the industrial production. Currently, mineral production is divided in two categories: the anarchic artisanal production, who no respect of any respect of environmental and technical condition, and two, the industrial production. You can see all these unprocessed material which I counsel to rebuild the new factory was coming from the artisanal miners. And these artisanal mining, what they are using when I became governor, I find child labor in this mining, which I stopped. At the moment, again, I'm not governor anymore. I've seen the children going again back in the artisanal mining, which is really bad. It's like taking a child in the army. And we've got the industrial production, which really improve the situation. We've got also in the diamond also, we've got the artisanal production, because we've got in the Kasai and different places, we've got also a diamond. We've got also in the east, even the Katanga, we have gold, copper and cobalt, cassiterite and coltan. We need to have recovery of strategic method for exports. The mining industry is an economic sector that consists of research and production of minerals as well as metallurgical treatment. And industrial production follow the incomplete chain in DRC: research, development, extraction, partial metallurgy. The exported products are not refined, concentrated, alloy, cathode, or electrode. 2, production from artisanal extraction. Extraction, local sale or export fraudulently. The treatment entity buy and produce intermediate good at small value added, raw mineral, concentrate, alloy. These two categories of production export strategic method to a definitive destination country generally is going to China and the other country. You can see on the map, Congo is really a geological scandal, which the people so far not benefiting through the mining sector. I can show you a map. DRC, as most of the African country, is well known for its potential in mineral, which represent many minerals substances whose reserves are known due to a lack of deep research. You can see this, what they give on the map, like 8 million tons of copper. We can have more if there is more research. We can have maybe double or 5 times. The cobalt, 5 million, which is really, we need more research, more exploration. The iron, 10 million. Cassiterite, 440 million. the nickel and chrome not known, the lithium, 31 million tons of lithium. The evolution of copper production in DRC, which represent only 7% of the global capacity, show that we occupy the 4th rank just behind Chile, Peru, and China. The production is expected to reach 2 million tons in 2022. When I resigned as governor in 2015 from 8,000 tons, I left the production of 1.5 million tons. The biggest problem we had was energy. So with no energy, you can't produce more. For cobalt, we are the first producer globally. We exported 90,000 tons of hydroxide of cobalt, which you can see is just hydroxide of cobalt. This material, we don't have the factory to treat these to have the finished product, which is bringing less income to the country. DRC exported in 2021 31 tons of gold and 12 million carats of diamond. Abu Dhabi is the main destination of our diamond, 60%, Belgium 34%, and India 6%. Soon DRC will produce lithium and manganese, which we abandoned its production long time ago. This mine is in the Manono area where there was a rebel group, so it's going to also to start soon. The biggest problem is the road, the infrastructure to go there. There is still a big problem. This map, I already presented it. So on the cassiterite, we estimate to have 800 million tons, which is just a estimation. And gold resources so far, which if you can see on the gold, it's 700 tons. If there is more research on the gold, you can have maybe double or 5 times our production. You can see why there is the ore in the east of Congo. If you can see the artisanal miners, they only extracted 44 kg, and which really was exported is more than 50 tons of gold, which went on the national treasure, which was declared was just 44 kg, which is really nothing. And this is in the east of Congo where my brothers and my sister are dying. Because this extraction is characterized by fraud and smuggling to neighboring countries. So far, we have highlighted that the global business of mining products is based on the origin of the mineral substances. The DRC can improve its mineral sector with the following action. First action, industrial production. Stop the production of raw mineral, concentrated and alloy. Require exports of minerals with high value added, cathode, for example. Impose refinery of certain products like coltan and gold. For the artisanal production, control of sale and purchase of product from artisanal extraction. And we don't have to allow the children to go in the artisanal mining. Require to treatment entire entities and improvement of the metallurgical production chain in order to increase the value added. Finalize the installation of shopping counters for gold by the Central Bank of Congo in the production region. There is a various opportunity. DRC wish to welcome the investors with high technical and financial capacity for mutual and profitable partnership. The following action should be taken. First, systemization of mineral research in the rich area on basis of data from National Geological Services of Congo. Two, prospection and certification of reserve for public mining companies that have deposit with possibility of signing partnership. Three, establishment of metallurgical industrial for treatment and transformation of minerals and refined product, cassiterite, coltan, for establishment of refinery of gold and diamond cutter. The population, like I say, for Africa is very young, and we can have labor at reasonable workforce. Huge hydroelectric and geological potential, a numerous investment opportunity in the research and transformative industry. There is challenges, major challenges. There is obvious synergy among mining, transportation, and electricity, because there is no road. We need to improve in the road, the railway, we need to improve it with the railways, and there is electricity to improve the problem of energy, electricity to improve our capacity. Africa, like DRC, is not exempt from negative impacts of COVID and Ukraine, Russia, or on a global economy. Difficulties to have access to the global financing, challenges in electricity, despite its enormous potential in the sector. You can ask me, we are having a lot of dams like the Inga, one of the biggest, which is not developed, which become like a dream. Lack of infrastructure, like I say, the roads and railways, which is the main source of a long delay in the supply chain. If there is delay, the country is losing money, and the business people, the investors, they don't like delay. Fraud and smuggling in the mineral sector, which is one of the sources of instability in the eastern part of the country. Corruption is the main source of poverty among the Congolese people. Bribery, parallel political structure, also, and red tape, bureaucracy, lack of enforcement of stability norms. Difficult to have access to financing opportunity. Africa represents only 3% of the global, almost, which is really nothing, 1.5 billion per year. As the case of the DRC, corruption and poor governance are a source of poverty, food insecurity and hunger. Road and railway corridors of sub-Saharan Africa suffer from repercussion of the defects of transport infrastructure, particularly in the Central Africa and DRC. On my conclusion, DRC, the mining sector is a key economic sector and a main factor of development, which requires the pursuit of its depth research into strategic mineral substances for the better diversification of mining products to be exported and discovery of new deposits. Financial support to public mining companies for the development of mineral indices and the deposits, as well as the certification of reserve. The rehabilitation and the installation of new hydroelectric power station, as well as other green electricity production units to increase electricity production and meet the ever-increasing energy needs. Improving road, railway, water, and other communication infrastructure. The improvement of the working and living condition of state officials, as well as the fight against corruption. As we mentioned in the introduction, problem that face DRC are the same for the other African country, which some except with some exception. In order to compete with the rest of the world, Africa country should prioritize good governance and speak with one voice. Advocate the mining sector in order to attract more foreign direct investment. Implement a strategy to achieve the objective of sustainable development. Thank you very much. Sorry for my English, at least.
All right, thank you so much. So if you don't care if I ask, what is the contribution of the mining sector in African GDP?
Thank you very much. The contribution of African mining in the African GDP, I can give you some figures. Like in 2014, I think it was 26.3%. And in 2015, I think 25.8%. In 2016, I think 25%. And in 2017 is 26%. And in 2018 is 28.7%.
All right, thank you. So in recent years, the mining sector in West Virginia has significantly depleted. Has any country in Africa shown any signs of that happening as well?
Yes, these things, this question is very important for me because you see, when I was governor, the neighboring countries, since we are talking about Africa, Zambia, the neighboring country, there are a lot of reserve of copper. Unfortunately, those reserves today are finishing. Even in DRC, you're having the same problem. Even if they are saying the reserve for DRC is almost 24 trillion. I think these are just figures which we need to research more. Now, since the mining life are finishing, to maybe some deposits remain 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years. If really we don't diversify, and if this income can't benefit to the Congolese people or to the African people, because we are talking also about Africa, I think this is going to create a big problem, because we need at the moment, since there is still some reserve which are there, to think about the future of our country, of our people. How can we build school? How can you build new infrastructure? Because you see, like in West Virginia, at least even if there is a significantly depleted, at least the West Virginia have been very well developed compared to African countries. Some African countries, they are doing well with their mining sector, which we need to do all over Africa. I think the majority, there is still a question mark.
So how does the revenue generating from the mining sector look like in the Democratic Republic of Congo?
You see, the revenue of it's difficult to isolate revenue from mining sector from the total government, because you see, like today in our in Congo, you are just exporting the minerals. There is not anything we are exporting now, which we export don't reflect which in the national treasury because of corruption. Wherever we have some idea regarding the contribution on the mining sector of the total export. I can tell you, when I was governor, only the export for Congo in 2014 was 94.8%. In 2015 was 97%, and in 2016 73%. And 2017, they went up to 99%. And in 2018, they went back again on 98%. So I think the mining revenue, a share of a total of revenue on the GDP of 10.6 in 2017 and 20% in 2000 GDP in 20% in 2018.
Okay, so in your presentation, you mentioned how Botswana is actively working on fixing and investing in their human capital and social development. And in recent years, many companies have had to be held accountable for their actions. So how have you dealt with the social responsibility?
Thank you very much for your question. Botswana have done very well. We should follow a good example what they did in Botswana. When I was governor in the province, I worked closely with the mining companies. There is a serious mining company, and there is also bad mining company. So with which respect environmental side, which respect the workers, because when I arrive as governor, just to give you an example, the 8,000 tons of copper cathode, which I find myself, I went through the road account, track by track. I can send you maybe some video when I went there, which that day, that was my first week as governor, 5,300 tons of copper ore was going with no papers. So it was really a big fraud. That's why I stopped to say we need to invest in the infrastructure. And the problem also is the influential also from the government people, the people in the office, because every investors, those bad investors, they've got somebody in the office somewhere. which they give instruction, the material must go out with the paper, and continue in the system of corruption. I think we need to follow first, as Botswana, there is almost, which I can say maybe 0 or 1% of corruption, which really they did a wonderful job. In Congo, at the moment, we don't know where is the money going, because people continue suffering. We need to make traceability, at least for people to feel the responsibility of the mining sector. And at that time, I imposed myself all the mining sector before to export, they should have social responsibility, like building school, bringing electricity to the people, having farming, and we worked together with them. When I left, those things were suspended. So I think we need to really to fight corruption, because if you can see some mining companies are there, there is no hospital. When I was working like with Freeport McMoran, American companies, they built school, they built hospitals, road, everything. At least is our responsibility. If we fight corruption with the income, I think we can do one day like Botswana.
Thank you so much for that answer. So you mentioned a bunch of things that you did as governor of Katanga, but what else did you do? And what would you consider your legacy to be?
You know, like I said on my beginning, when I arrived as governor, I didn't know anything in politics. I came from a business background. And when I arrived, I think we're supposed to do everything. When I arrived, I supposed to convince first the investors to invest in the country, because we had only one mining companies, which was Jeka Mine, which was exporting 8,000 tons of copper cathode. I find a province where there was no road. The main road, like from Kasumbalesa to Kolwezi in the mining area, is 400 kilometers, which the truck and trailer are doing almost 1 month. Because no road, bad road, what and what. I supposed to redo the road to give trust to the investors, which I impose them to build infrastructure to increase our production from 8,000 tons today to almost 2 million tons. And we're supposed to give them the stick and the carrot also. I was very tough on them, because on one side, people are suffering, hungry, what and what. And I increased also the salary. Before I arrived as governor, in the mining sector, at that time we were paying, you can't believe that, less than $50 per person. I imposed the mining sector to say a minimum for the mining sector is $250. And don't carry my brothers in the truck like fish or sardine or what and what. You need to have buses like in any countries. And what happened? They follow everything, like I said. Two, they're supposed to do agriculture. They're supposed to do the agriculture. I impose before to export any grain, because you are getting almost 90% of you are imposing. You are getting almost 98% of production of maize, which is a step food for Katanga coming from Zambia. So I impose on the mining sector to say, I've done the road for you. I've done everything. You should do also agriculture. If you can see the road before and the road after, I did more road than the national government in one province. I did over 1,500 kilometers of new roads and with tarmac. And I did also the road also going to the farms, over 4,000 kilometers. And also what I did, energy, I improved energy a lot in the mining sector. And I built also the big bridge. If you can see in Kolwezi, there was no bridge, only 10 tons. The truck supposed to go, I built the Lualaba Bridge, which is the biggest bridge in all the country, because before the truck was crossing in the barge, the acid sulfuric was going in the water. There was a lot of accident, pollution, what and what. What I did after that, I say we need schools. Each mining company is supposed to bring school. Myself, I built a lot of school. I find girls in my province, in Katanga province, that time was one province, only 300,000 children at primary and secondary school. And you know how many percent of girls? 13% of girls. I built an innovated school. I built new schools where from 300,000 to 3.6 million children at school. Everyone sitting on the desk. Before, these children were sitting in the bricks. You can see some picture of mine sitting with the children on the bricks. People need to have also good health. I built hospitals, and I did also increase the revenue for the country. When I came on the beginning, the province was contributing only with $187 million per year. My first year, I went over $2 billion because we are fighting corruption. You are building the infrastructure. You are giving food to the people. The mining sector are doing the investment, and at least the province was benefiting, and the national government. And these we stabilize the dollar. When I was governor, the dollar was between 880 francs per $1 at 900. 6 months after I resigned, the dollar went to 1,500 franc double. Today, the dollar which I left, because you see, with the new price of copper and cobalt, only the province of Katanga can contribute more than 12 billion. Today, the budget of all Congo is less than 5 billion. So there is a lot of fraud. There is a big fraud because I left myself the contribution of 4 billion with the price of $4,000 per ton of copper and $25,000 a ton of cobalt. Today, a ton of cobalt is more than 70,000. So at least I left a legacy where children was at school, where there was I was giving to the people clean water, where I built new infrastructure, roads, bridge, everything, and also feed the people, because what is important in politics, they say in French, ventre creux n'a point d'oreille. If somebody have not eaten, he can't listen, he can't talk. To go to work, we need to have a good health. So I did what I did as governor is up to the new governor. And that time I was running a province bigger than France, because when I arrived, I find in the hospital, people with no mattress, with nothing, dying. If you go to the hospital, you go just to die. You can't back at home. I renovated the hospitals, the school, everything which I did. So at least what is sad today, which I'm regretting, all these legacy I left, they're supposed to continue with maintenance. You know, I always talk to my uncles or my brothers to say, I think the word maintenance in my language doesn't exist. That's why I left as legacy.
Well, it sounds like you sure did leave a pretty good legacy behind. I think it's great how you actually seem to value your people and the infrastructure. I feel like you made such a huge improvement in one province, and that's just beyond impressive. Bringing education and changes and everything like that, especially in infrastructure in just your first few weeks, that is so impressive. You can really tell that you value the citizens of Katanga, which is great to see. It sounds like you've had a huge impact not only on Katanga, but of Africa as a whole, as you mentioned with the GDP. And I just think that is fantastic. That sounds so great.
Yes, I forgot also to mention something. When I left, when I resigned, you know, I told you the girls was only 13% at school. I left the girls at 47%. So I did a lot because you need really to, because if the girls doesn't go to school, they get pregnant very, very young, 14 years, 15 years. At least I did this was, I was fighting for it, because you see, if you educate one lady, you educate a nation.
No, the education aspect of your time whenever you were in office, that is incredibly impressive, especially to bring a number from 13 all the way up to 47. That is very impressive. If anybody else has any questions for Mr. Kumbi, I think now would be the best time to ask.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, no problem.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Eric Kitenge. I know Boniface just put a picture of Kipushi because that's where I am from. I was born in Kipushi. Yeah, so my question is, you have made a call saying that we need investors. And then you did give an example for Freeport that used to be in Katanga, especially at Tenke Fungurume Mining. And they had to leave because of the legal framework that was not attractive. And then not too far from us, we have Botswana that is doing very well. So what is preventing us from replicating what is going on in Botswana, or at least updating what is going on over there, according to you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kitenge. I have to be frank with you. With my little experience as governor, is to have the real election. When you are going to have the election, which really people, if there is transparency, everything, the leaders, the governor, the president, everyone, if they don't buy the election, they will work for the people to renew their mandates. Now, what they do, they say, okay, even if I've not been elected, I will go and do some magic with the Electoral Commission, with everything. At that time, we forgot the people. I think for me, with my little, in Botswana, if the president or if the governor, even if the mayor doesn't do his job, even in America, let me give you an example, they are not going to renew your mandate. Now, in my country, your country, people, they say, okay, we are going to do some magic with the electronic vote. We are going to do this and that, which is really sad. I think when Congo is going to have real election, to have a real winner. That real winner is going to work for the people, because he's going to say, look at Zambia across Katanga. You are coming from Kipushi. Kipushi from Zambia is the border with Zambia.
Mhm.
If you cross to Zambia, you can see everything, the infrastructure, because there is a real democracy, there is real election. I think real election, you know, even these things to make the governor to be elected by member of parliament, I can't have anything to present, even any vision to present. Just example I'm giving you, Mr. Gitenge. If you've got more possibility to develop my province, the province of Katanga, if I come with money, I can buy the member of parliament. And you are not going to do anything. And I'm not going to be responsible to the people. I'm going to be responsible to the member of parliament. In which country, like our country, a poor country of Congo, where people, if you can see the salary in parliament, which are almost over $10,000, and the chicha, which is getting more than $120. I think let's have real election. The chicha is the future of our country, because education. Today, what is the biggest problem? The chicha. They don't get paid very, very well. So everyone is rushing in the politics to say, if I'm in politics, I can have money. I think which can bring Congo to the good railway is to have a real transparency in the election, the real winner, inclusive election, not to block other people. Let the people of Congo block the other people on not voting for X because he didn't have a good program.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
Yes, please. No problem. It's a pleasure.
Okay. I'd like to thank Governor Moise Katumbi. I'm from Lubumbashi as well, like Mr. Kitenge. Mr. Governor, I'd like to know exactly. You have been saying about what you do good during your government. Can you tell us what you do worst, or what you are still regretting for not doing when you were governor?
Thank you very much. Which I can regret, which I didn't do very well when I was governor, is the question which was really, I never sleep, because which I regretted a lot. I did a lot to export, like the copper production, cobalt, and I never managed to export the agriculture product. You understand? Because we've got good rents, we've got everything. Now the problem, why I regret that, because Congo can supply almost maybe 30% of the entire world on agriculture. What I regretted, because I never received the money which the national government is supposed to send back to me. We're supposed to add 40%, if you read our constitution, to take 40% on the every money coming in, you're supposed to get back 40%. I didn't have this 40%, which represent almost 3.5 billion, which Kinshasa owes me when I was governor of US dollar. And this, I didn't do well. I didn't know what to do for me to put people in agriculture so I can export rice. I can export wheat from Congo. There was a lot of export which I supposed to do. And also a lot of things like energy, electricity. I didn't manage to give everyone electricity. Why? Because my money was stuck in Kinshasa. So, and on the altar when I arrive, Mr. Mbele, when I arrive in the altar, clean water which was given to the people was only 7%. I managed to arrive to 67 from 7% clean water, which I supposed to reach at least 95%. All those are big, which I didn't do very well.
Thank you.
Mackenzie, if you allow me, I'll probably ask a quick question. Thank you so much, Governor Katumbi, for your presentation and for your leadership as well. I think you've accomplished great things, which is pretty localized in Katanga. But if we wanted to see that expand in a country which is close to a continent like Congo, what do you think we need to do? I understand you talked about corruption and proper elections, but I was really thinking in terms of minerals for infrastructure. It's easy to do in Katanga because Katanga is a rich, potentially rich province. But what about some of the part of the countries where either mineral are not exploited yet, or they don't have mineral as Katanga? How can we go by taking that model of minerals for infrastructure, and how can we make it a larger, not just concentrated in Katanga, but in other provinces as well? I'm looking at northern Congo and some of the part in the south as well.
You know, you can get a surprise. You know what is the richest part of the Congo? Is the province Oriental, Kisangani, because they've got 2 rain seasons. They've got 2 rain seasons. There is no any province which is poor in the Congo. Is the management of bad governance which make, when I arrive, Katanga before the colonial time, if I can explain, was the lung of Congo. When I arrived as governor, Katanga went on the 3rd position because bad management, what and what. I think what is needed in the government is to get this money with this good price of copper and cobalt to diversify the economy, to go in different provinces. In Maniema, before when I grew up, my big brother and my father was buying rice from Maniema to sell in Jekamine and to send some in Zambia. You understand? In Maniema today, there is not even 1 kilo of rice coming. The railway is bad. Everything is bad. If we miss this chance with the good price of copper, because the technology, you young people, you are very clever today in university. They are making research. Tomorrow they can replace the cobalt. What we are going to do if we don't take this advantage to say, let this money, in my program, which I presented when I wanted to become a president, I had a program and I had a vision and focus on each province. This province, Maniema needs a lot of agriculture. Maniema needs the road. Let's say the Congo Basin, if there is a good politics today, is worth more money than mining sectors. We need to have brain. We need to have a vision to say, how can you protect this tree? What Congo is going to get? Some people, because of corruption, because of bad influence, each minister or this one, the cousin of the governor, the cousin of the president, the son of X, Z, they continue cutting trees, which really is ridiculous. Who's benefiting from those trees? Congolese people? No. I think if there is good policy which we can make, I think things can be improved. Okay, let me give you an example in the Goma, the province which I like a lot. You've got the Masisi. Masisi is like you are in tourism in our country. We've got the Chute de Lofoy, the water flow of Lofoy. I think is the one of the deep in the world, or second. So all this, there is tourism. In my country today, zero tourism. So each province is rich and has got his particularity, which really the government have to say, my target is this. We don't have to do the saupoudrage. You do the one, no. When I was in Katanga, what I regret also, which I forgot, you know, when I was governor, I had a good team, like I said before. I presented to President Kabila 3 governors to replace me, so he can choose one. So because I didn't want things to collapse, and he didn't take one of them, they chased them, and the province collapsed. So I think it depends which. It depends with the leadership. Things Congo, all the province in Congo have done the tour almost of all the country. Congo is very rich. Water is a blessing. We've got 8 million of fertile land. So everywhere South Africa or Kenya, where they are doing tourism compared to our land, we've got the better land, maybe more than 70% more than them. Why in our country you are still living in poverty? That's the big question mark. That's why I say, when there are going to be real free election, when people are going to vote the people in the ballot paper, which reflect the result, I think we can change this.
Thank you so much for your answer. That was a good elaboration. We look forward to see how the future will turn out.
Thank you. Mackenzie, any question?
I don't have any more questions. I was waiting to see if anybody else had one.
I'll step in with one. And you've been sort of addressing this a little bit of segues here, but how do you encourage and build a diversified economy of mining and agriculture and manufacturing and service?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You see, the chance we've got to diversify economy with the mining sector, because mining sector is a cash. We don't need to wait for a long time. The money is there because there is production. Now to diversify, because these mines are going to finish one day, like they are finishing like in West Virginia, like in some part of my region in Katanga. Some mine is remaining 2 years life, 2-3 years life. Now this money, there is what we call in the mining code, the royalties, which have to go to the community back, and to diversify in other province to invest when we are not going to have anything to export. So we can start already with this money to export, like we need to export coffee in America. We can export our coffee. Want to export cacao to Belgium, we can do it. So there is a way. I did when I was governor. This money which was coming from the tax belonged to the province. I went with it in agriculture, where we are importing from Zambia 98% of the maize. We started 6 months later, we started to import only 25% before I resigned. So there is a way, if there is a discipline, there is a control, there is everything. I think we can diversify our economy, and which is great. The rain is free. We don't have to invest in the rain. God always sent the rain to us. We had fertile land. So there is, like I say, on the diversity, because also schools, there is some countries in Europe where there is no minerals. People are very educated. Let's put money in education for the future of our children.
Very good. Thank you.
So do we have any more questions? Okay, so if not, I want to thank all of you again for coming out today. I hope you all really enjoyed. Oh, well, never mind. We have a question. Trying to get your mic to work. Okay, we'll wait. We'll wait.
No problem, no problem.
Mr. Ingwe, you can speak.
Ok, est-ce que vous permettez aussi qu'on parle en français?
No, no. Parce que l'audience ne parle pas français. So we cannot accept French questions because, you know, no one
Donc,
speaks French here.
je suis du Katanga et puis je suis prêtre catholique, je suis professeur. Je voulais faire un témoignage par rapport à ce que le président Moïse vient de présenter, et évidemment avec toutes les félicitations. Et un monsieur que je connais, que j'ai déjà touché, que j'ai déjà salué. Alors, je voulais faire un témoignage par rapport à ça, oui.
On ne saura pas prendre votre témoignage parce que personne n'écoute le français ici.
Bon, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Je salue le président. Merci. Je le verrai à Lubumbashi, soit à Kinshasa.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Ok, d'accord. Merci.
Can you hear me now? Am I getting? Oh, it looks like I have a feedback.
Yes, I can hear you.
1 second. Okay. It's still like if there's a feedback. Is that correct? I'm not sure what's happening. 1 second.
It looks like you have two accounts here.
Do I still have 2 accounts or just 1? Can you
Now
hear me?
you can speak, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fine now.
Okay. All right, Mr. Governor, thank you very much. It was quite an was a profound message from your presentation. But I keep getting the impression, especially with your answer to the question from Interim Dean Jeff, that when we talk about diversification in African economies, we're simply looking for other things to export, looking for how to manage arable land or how to mine more natural resources and export. So that's not for us to develop not just a modern economy, but the competitive economy in today's world, we have to be able to export complex products. And so what that means is the rich countries wouldn't tell you this secret. Maybe I'm actually venturing out on a limb, even asking you this question. But what plans do we have? Or what plans do you have at your level and from your vantage point to encourage value addition to these naturally occurring products? Agriculture by itself is not just farming. We should be in agriculture, but not to the extent of just cropping products and then shipping them out of the country. So right now, it is hard because the rest of the world wouldn't sell you their technology for free. So you're not going to start making chocolates the way the Swiss make it, or you're not going to start making canned packed vegetables and food the way we make them here, because we don't own that technology. It's still going to be expensive. But I'm glad you talked about investing in education. But beyond that, how do we jump across multiple stages in our development path to get to a point where we can actually export complex products that are competitive in the world market? Now, that's what a diversified economy would look like. That's the first question, your plans, your idea, and what you think about that. And the second question, you have kind of narrowed the issue down to the matter of having free, fair, and credible elections, and that when the people have a stake in their democratic process, hopefully the leadership that evolves becomes accountable and answerable to them. But that's part of it. The understanding in politics in today's world is that even the process of the election or the democratic process itself is a process of negotiating yourself to power. The question is, you don't want to compromise your position by having negotiated with the wrong set of people to get you in place, and then you now owe them an allegiance, which is what has been happening. So the corrupt politicians negotiate with the electoral officers and they rig elections in their favor. So how do you negotiate with the people to serve as a champion or to serve as a figurehead for a proper cause and get yourself into office? Because you can lambast the government and you can do all of these seminars and conferences. If you don't find a way to negotiate, you won't get, you unfortunately won't be able to get to a point where you are then able to advance your ideas and your programs in the best interest of the people. So the first question is an economic question, the issue of complexity of products and the diversification of economies, not just from the point of mining and agriculture or exporting of simple and primary goods. And then the second question is a political one. How do you stay in the arena, negotiating with the proper people to get yourself to power? My name is Uyi Lawani. I had the unfortunate, have the unfortunate toga of having hired Boniface into this college. So if he's not doing well, maybe I'm one of the people to blame, but he's my colleague, a teacher in the College of Business.
Thank you very much, Mr. Uyi. Thank you very much for question. It's a really very good question, which I appreciate a lot. I talked about diversity. I just want to say something when I talk about agriculture. Before we have to export, we need first to feed our people. I'm just giving you example of different African country, different country, like my country in Congo. You can see the majority of our money is going on the import of the product from other countries, not even from Africa, from different countries. Today in Congo, with a fertile land, you are eating rice from China, you are eating palm oil from Malaysia, you are eating what and what. So if we don't first sustain our production ourselves, it's going to be difficult for us to have the finishing product, because we need first to have enough in the country and to create the finished product. To have finishing product is not about agriculture. Look at today in Africa, how many people are having electricity in all the entire continent. The key is energy. I'm just talking with my little experience as a businessman and a former governor. Is electricity. What is the percentage? You can go on Google for all Africa. I think you are going to cry. To develop the industry, let's say finishing product, we want to make, I'm just giving you an example. I want to make a glass of water, which is coming from, I think, China, or if coming from any country, a glass of water, which I can't make in my country, because to make this water, we need to have enough electricity. We need to have the road. We need to have this and that. If we diversify our economy slowly, which is going to improve. Let's say we invest money in the energy. If the energy is good, the African neighboring country, the other partner from the Eastern, they will come and invest to diversify the economy. So there is, on the diversification, there is a lot of issues which each country are having. In Africa is almost the same problem we are having in Africa. Look at today, all the computers, I'm just talking about computers. I'm just talking about internet, everything. We need to have the condition to build the computers. We need to have the things to do electronics. Now, if we can't go gradually ourselves to improve our economy, to say, because people, why I'm insisting, Mr. Ui, maybe you are not going to agree with me, agriculture is the future for everyone. People are increasing, is going to bring more money on the future, more than Microsoft, the African continent, if it's really well managed. And this money for agriculture can also improve on the other sectors. The mining, for me, really, I always say the green copper is agriculture. So for me, at least, today there is no any country in Africa which are not importing the food, which is totally a disaster. If you can check this money, if this money can be kept in Africa, I think we can diversify in different projects. We can make finished products. We can make whatever we can make to improve our production, and we can invest to the genius which can also one day make Google, which can make anything. There is talented people in Africa. We need the money. We need the money. And if we don't use what we can use in the country to develop, is going to be difficult. That's what I'm talking about with my little experience. Because today, I'm giving you example in the football. I'm a chairman of TP Mazembe.
Of Tukwisa Mazembe, yes.
Yeah, you see, to come to let's say to Nigeria, or to go sometimes to Tunisia, I have to go. Africa is not connected. I have to go to France, take a plane, or or in England to go British Airways to come back to Nigeria. So a lot have to be done. So I have to go to strategize to see what is the key points. Let's see how can we improve our diversification on the economy. So there is a lot of things to be done. Look at the power. Congo, we've got almost, we can make 100,000 megawatts, which we can save Africa. Today, Congo, the Inga project is like a dream. We are having a lot of potential in the Congo where we can make 50 megawatt, 30 megawatt to improve the life of the people, to improve this, which we are saying, to produce locally. Look at the hydroxide of cobalt is going. This battery are not being done in the Congo because we don't have electricity. If you had electricity, you're supposed to produce also this electrical battery for the car. So I think let's go gradually with agriculture. What we can do first, let's feed the people of our continent. If we import less, before, when I was young, now I'm getting old. When I was younger, I'm going to reach soon 60 years. We were exporting the cotton from the Congo to go to Europe or whatever. Today, there is no this cotton going out, and you are importing the material from other countries. Just to have a shirt, we have to import from somewhere. Or if we invested gradually, let's say we got the cotton, we transform it to make the shirt, we can sell locally. There is no forex which is going to go outside. concerning the election, your second question, to say to negotiate, you know, election, we never have to negotiate election. Election, we have to give a chance to the people to elect. Because if I negotiate with X and Z, I have to be loyal to that guy. I'm not going to be loyal to the people. You understand? I prefer to be outsider than to go and compromise myself. I need to have at least what I'm saying about all Africa. The day where all the leaders have to have negotiation with the people of their countries, Africa is going to do well. Look at in the country where there is real election. They don't negotiate with each other. They negotiate with the people to say, I've got my program. I'll improve your social life. I'll improve your salaries. I'll find you, I'll create more jobs. I'm going to bring electricity. I'm going to build school. We are going to connect Africa today. I can't go by road from Lubumbashi just to Kinshasa. You know, Mr. Ui, how many days I will do for 2,000 kilometers? You know how many days I will do?
From Lubumbashi to Kinshasa?
Yes, 2,000 kilometers. You know how many days I will do?
I have no idea.
9 months. 9 months if the car is going to arrive in Kinshasa. Now, if we can't connect only in our region, and this issue for our country is in a lot of African countries, also the same issues. So I think about connectivity, development, that's why I'm insisting, let's, what we are having now, try and diversify to create a real economy. We have to think about after the mining, after the oil, because this oil is going to finish one day. Huh? If there is no oil one day in Nigeria, what's the people of Nigeria going to become? If there is no copper in Zambia, what is the Zambian people going to become? If there is no copper in Congo, let's think about that. Thank you very much. Maybe.
Thank you. Thank you. We could go back and forth, but I have to respect time. But maybe we'll get another chance to continue.
No problem, Mr.
Yes, but I was speaking with regard to negotiation with the people, identifying specific power centers. But we can continue the conversation another time. Sir. Yeah.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, unfortunately, we are out of time, but I would personally like to thank Mr. Katumbi for coming out and speaking to us, and I would like to pass it to the Dean for our conclusion.
Yes, I want to thank the governor too. It's a very, very interesting presentation, and you know, a lot. You know, sitting here in West Virginia, I agree. There's a lot that you shared that we should think about and learn from, and very important to us too. So I really appreciated that. But just in general, very, very interesting. I want to thank Dr. Yemba for his work on this. I want to thank Mackenzie. She did an outstanding job of bringing this together today. But again, thank you, and thank everybody for attending today. I'll turn it over.
Thank you very much. I want also to thank you, the Marshall University, for inviting me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.